Hello everyone, this is DinoDogDude209 again, back with another WolfQuest video. Today we're going to be checking out something different. We're going to be checking out the Towerfall map, specifically some cool locations in the map that I think I'd like to show off. Some of my favorite spots up here in the northern part of the map. This map released 2 months ago as of recording, and is one of my favorite maps, might be my new favorite. There's a lot of really cool locations in this map, including man-made landmarks as well as natural ones. Today I'm just going to be showing off a few that are some of my favorites. It's going to be a bit longer, so grab a snack, grab a drink if you so choose. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. This was recorded over several different sessions, so just keep that in mind. If you see me switching between wolves, that would be why. So to get started, here's our first location. Our first location is the actual Towerfall waterfall itself, which is the namesake for the map. Probably part of the reason why you might want to buy the map is to come check this out. It's a very cool spot. You can see here actually a rainbow forms over the mist of the waterfall. If you get up close, you can see just how tall this waterfall is. It's I think in real life it's one of the taller waterfalls in Yellowstone. I'm not sure how tall it actually is in real life, but as you can see, if we come under the water, because this water falls so far, it actually does damage to you because of just how much water is falling all at once onto your wolf's back. So there's actually a achievement for going underneath the waterfall for, I think it's 5 seconds, and you're going to want to avoid doing that with low health because as you saw there, my wolf has pretty high health stats and was taking a lot of damage there. But if you go up above the waterfall here in this gorge between these rocky spires that kind of rise up from around the creek, you can actually come to the edge of the waterfall itself at its top, and it's pretty cool actually. It looks pretty neat, and it's a nice scenic spot to take screenshots or whatever else you want to do up here. And there's a few other cool spots around it that we're going to take a look at shortly. But as you can see, this is a pretty big creek. Flows down with quite a bit of water, and that's quite a big waterfall as well. So we'll go ahead and show you a little bit more of the stuff around it here now in just a second. Okay, so up here you can see we're up above the waterfall now. We're up on one of these rocky cliff formations above it. And as you can see here, you've got a pretty nice view of the entire surrounding area. You can see that's the Devil's Den is what it's called down there with the rocky spires. You can see the waterfall that makes up Towerfall itself. You can look down and you can see where Tower Creek down there flows into and has a place where it joins with the Yellowstone River. And if you come down around to the other side here, there's this nice viewing point where if I position my wolf correctly, you can actually see there's a little info sign about the Towerfall waterfall itself. And I believe this is based on a real one, a real billboard or whatever that you have in that location. And you have a really nice view here of the waterfall, and we can go ahead and howl. I think it's a pretty cool spot. Okay, so our next location is going to be the Towerfall General Store. This is very close to the waterfall itself. It's just a little bit to the west of it. And as you can see, this is actually based on a real general store that lies in the same location in real life. When I went to Yellowstone, I never got to visit this area of the park because there was road construction. But from the pictures I've seen, this actually looks pretty close to the real thing. You have this National Park Service signboard here out in front of the store. And you can go up and check it out, but the general store is closed in the game. because they don't want humans to be here when you're coming here and exploring it as a wolf, which makes sense because, could lead to some unrealistic behavior. But yeah, there's also this parking lot over here, which is often overrun with animals. As you can see, there's a herd of pronghorn there now. And if you come back here and you go north from the general store, just a little ways up the road here, you can come across this little bridge that goes across the creek, across Tower Creek. And it's a pretty cool spot, actually very scenic and very relaxing, actually, if you just want to sit down. And it's a very nice relaxing spot along the creek there. And it's a beautiful scenic location, so good spot to take screenshots if that's your kind of thing. So, on to our next location. So our next location is going to be just a little bit further down the road from that last location on the bridge. Heading north along the Grand Loop Road, you'll find this overhanging cliff. And this cliff is very tall, it's massive, and as you can tell, just by looking at it, it's an overhanging cliff. But there's also some cool stuff down at the base. You have these really cool basalt, I think it's basalt, rock formations at the bottom that form these columns. And I think this is supposed to be formed from lava or something like that. I'm not sure, I'm not a geologist, but it's a really cool spot, really interesting location. And it is right on the side of the road here, pretty much. You'll see there's a few spots where you can get up on top of the cliff, but your movement is a little bit limited up there because there's some invisible barriers that keep you from running off the cliff. But if we run up the road a little ways here, you'll see that actually this location, this overhanging cliff, it's really cool, but it's actually right on the edge of the map. So yeah, you run up the road just a little bit from it and you reach the edge of the map. So this is kind of a cool little spot on the northern edge of the map, and it's a cool place to come visit. It's actually not marked on the map that I know of, not the in-game map. So it can be kind of hard to remember where it is, but if you remember it's just up the road from the waterfall, then you can figure out where it is pretty easily. So over here, if you go actually a little ways towards the river from the overhanging cliff, you get this really cool area, nice scenic point where you can see there's more of those basalt columns on the cliffs across the river canyon here. The river goes through a bit of a gorge here on the edge of the map, and there's a lot of really cool rock formations here too, some of these spires and hoodoos, and it looks really neat. It's a nice little spot to just look out over. You can see the gorge continues down that way, but you can't go over there. At least I've tried and I haven't been able to, because it's on the edge of the map. It's right on the border, and so your wolf gets turned back right away like you would at any other border of the map. But it's a really cool spot. If you're gonna come over here and check out this area, you might as well come over here and check that out. Okay, so next we have the top of this cliff area here, and you can actually go around to the side from where we were before by the bridge, and you can climb up here and you can go to the top of the cliff. You can't quite get to the very edge of the cliff because there is some barriers there to prevent you from reaching the edge. I guess the devs didn't want us jumping off this cliff or accidentally running off of it. Maybe they just didn't want NPCs going too close to the ledge and causing some weird pathfinding issues. But as you can see here, really nice view up here again of the surrounding area. I know that the colliders are a little bit weird here, so it sometimes looks like the wolf is floating. I don't think that's supposed to be like that, but I don't know if you're really supposed to be able to go up here that much. But either way, it's a really cool spot. Got a really good view of the rest of the map from up here, especially that Devil's Den area. You can't quite see the waterfall there, but it's just over that. And you can see all the surrounding formations, and you can see the general store down there. So it's a really cool spot, and definitely one that you should come check out if you haven't already. And on to our next location. Okay, so our next location is going to be up this hill here. If you go straight from the general store, there's a small road that will lead up this hill here, and you can see, if you ignore the pronghorn running around, I don't know why they're here, but they're running around. Anyway, this road kind of goes back and forth in a zigzag pattern up the side of this hillside, through the meadows, and into this forested area. And once you get through to the top of the hill here, we're going to have something really cool. Here at the top of the hill, there's something really cool. This is the Tower Fall Campground. And of course, just like the general store, this is also closed to people in the map. So you're not going to see anyone camping here, but as you can see, it's closed due to wolf activity, if you read that little flyer there. And yeah, this campground area is really cool. There's not a whole lot here, kind of a path that goes around in a circle. You've got what I think is an outhouse here next to this entrance to it. But there's also campsites, picnic benches. There's these bear-proof, I think you can see it here, yeah, this bear-proof crate that is for food, I think, and other materials that might attract bears. And each of these campsites also has a picnic bench, it looks like, and I think some kind of camp stove there. So it's really cool. This is a nice area to come check out. It's kind of hidden away in the woods, so you might not see it on your first playthrough here on this map. But as you can see, there's another outhouse looking thing here. But yeah, it's a really cool area. Nice spot to come check out, and to have a little bit of, you could potentially have some role play here in multiplayer. You could potentially do some cool role plays here. Other than that, it's just kind of a nice, cool little location to come check out. And if you follow this other road down, it will bring you back to the main road. So, really cool spot up here. But yeah, as you can see, it brings you down the rest of the way to the main road. So, nice little spot, nice place to check out. So our next location is actually a much bigger one. This is basically the entire Tower Creek Valley. So if you start where that bridge is that we checked out before, and you just follow the creek upstream, that is Tower Creek, you'll find eventually, if you go far enough up, it starts to open up a bit like here, and the valley kind of opens, and you see it gets really nice and really open and scenic, and you'll see there's this big rock on your right here. That's gonna be actually a den site. This is a den site. This is actually, I think it's called the Basalt Hexagon Den. And you actually need to discover this den site and raise your pups here for one of the achievements in Towerfall, one of the Towerfall exclusive achievements. You have to come and raise your pups here, have your pups here and raise them. Anyway, if we continue up the valley, you'll see there's a lot of really good area to chase elk. There's usually at least one elk herd in this valley area, from my experience. The creek is a nice source of water to get your stamina boost, as you can see there. And it's just a really nice area. And the further up the creek you go, the more forested it gets. So you go from this very open, as you can see, sagebrush meadow kind of area into kind of more forested The trees start to become more dense. They're not just limited to along the creek anymore. You start to get the valley kind of narrows in some spots, and there's a lot of dense foliage in a lot of spots, but it's also got a lot of nice open meadows. So this could still be a pretty nice area to chase elk or to hunt bison if you can find some in this area that you want to take out. But the forest cover is pretty nice too. This kind of reminds me a lot of the Lost River map in here in Anniversary Edition, the DLC version of it. It's got a lot of similar landscape to this kind of small open valley area, and it kind of reminds me a lot of that, especially with some of the rock formations you see here as well. And this is a really nice area. I haven't checked this area out in springtime when the flowers are stuff are out with the with all the green grass and stuff, but I'm sure it looks really good. It probably looks really beautiful around that time. But as you can see here, we're coming up to this other den site. This is, I think, the only other den site in the valley area here. Tower Creek Valley, as I call it. And this is another den site that's kind of in an open area, but it is a really nice scenic spot underneath all those rocks, as you can see. And it's a pretty nice area, and you'll see why in a second, why it's actually in a pretty convenient spot here. But you do have to be careful when exploring this area if you haven't claimed it as your territory yet, because it's in stranger wolf territory, most of it, and you can sometimes get attacked by stranger wolves while you're trying to explore this area, check things out, hunt elk, whatever you're trying to do up here. You have to be a little bit careful about that. It also kind of depends a bit on what territory configuration you're on, and yeah, as you can see there, I got attacked by wolves. But here, going further up the valley a little bit, you can see there's actually a beaver pond here. This is, I think, one of the only 3 of the beaver pond locations in this map. Tower Fall has a lot less beaver locations, but it's not actually devoid of beavers, so you do have a few beaver ponds. This is one of, I think, 3 of them in this map, and it's right along Tower Creek here, and it's a pretty good spot, and it's very close to that last den site we saw. So this makes it very convenient for if you want to go catch beavers for your pups to bring back to the den, or just for your pack mates as well. As you can see here, I got lucky and managed to catch one here in this spot. But yeah, it's in a very convenient location, and as you can see, there's also, you can often see pronghorn. I've seen some mule deer in this area, and a few elk herds here and there, sometimes occasionally moose or bison, but so you can find a lot of different prey animals here if you're looking, but I've found in the fall is when I tend to find elk up in this area, but they also do migrate to the lower elevations a little bit, so it might be further down this valley in the winter. But yeah, so this is a pretty cool area. As you can see, this is around dusk when I'm checking this area out here now, and it's a pretty nice, beautiful, scenic area. And if you go up this valley, follow the creek all the way up, it will take you to the edge of the map, The source of this creek, or the headwaters for it, is not included in the map, but you can come up here, and it's a nice little lightly forested area, and as you can see, the sunsets in this area are really beautiful too. Could be some good opportunities for some good screenshots here. Also, the ridges overlooking this little valley area are really cool too. Got a nice view from the north side, I know for sure, and probably the south side too. And it's a pretty nice area. So I'm gonna show on the map here pretty soon where this area is on the map of Towerfall. But it's a pretty nice area. I think it's kind of underrated. I don't think I've seen a lot of people setting up their territory here. But yeah, so as you can see here, those are those two den sites I showed in this area. The one is closest to the general store. That's the Hexagon Basalt Den. And the other one is the other one that I showed more recently in the video. But yeah, as you can see, this whole valley area is where Tower Creek flows through before it reaches the waterfall further down. And that location right there where my marker is, I think that's where the beaver pond is. It's just a little further southeast from that den right above the Tower Creek text on the map. So it's a pretty cool area, and it's a nice spot to set up your territory, raise your pups, and hunt. Anyway, we have one bonus location here that I wanted to include. Wasn't originally planning on showing this one off in the video, but I figured this one's too cool, I had to include it. This is the Bear Culvert Trap, I believe is what it's called. And as you'll see here in just a second, it's actually needed for one of the exploration achievements on this map. And it's a really cool spot. If you come visit it, most of the time it'll be open like this for a bear to, I guess, get trapped in it. But you, as your wolf, you can go inside too, and so you can get some funny screenshots perhaps here, making it look like your wolf is in jail or something like that, stuck behind the bars of a jail cell, if you want. Got some meme potential, I guess. But I've seen screenshots that show a bear actually trapped in this spot, and I'll show it on the map here. I've seen screenshots people have posted of a bear trapped in this culvert trap, but I've never actually seen that myself, so I don't know how rare it is. But it's, as you can see here, kind of in this little opening in the dense woods around close to the campground area we showed off before. So, cool little spot to come check out. Okay, so that's going to be the last of the locations I'm showing off in this video. I didn't want to make this one too long because I know people don't usually like to watch super long WolfQuest videos unless it's, uncut gameplay or something like that. I just wanted to kind of show off a few of my favorite locations. Let me know if you guys want to, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a part 2 to this video. If I do make a part 2, it'll show off a few more cool locations, including one that you can see a little sneak peek of here. This is a cool spot along the main road where you've got a couple big pieces of equipment and a porta potty, it looks like. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see a part 2 to this video showing off more cool locations in the Towerfall map. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate all your support, as always. You guys know that if you've watched this channel enough. And thanks for watching, and have a good day.